Hello, my name's Christopher. I'm something of a movie fanatic.
Hi, my name is Patrick, and I have a very short attention span.
In Must Watch Movies, a new podcast from the Zero Science Podcast Network, I'm going to try to put some culture into Patrick's trash brain.
In each installment, Christopher will choose a critically acclaimed film for me and my guest to watch for the very first time.
I'll open up each episode with why I selected the film in question and what I hope Patrick and his guests will get out of it.
Meanwhile, my guests and I will attempt to give an objective take on a film that's been revered by many for years and years. So grab some popcorn and snuggle up on the couch while you listen to a Philistine stumble his way through some of the greatest works put to celluloid.
Coming in May, be sure to check out Must Watch Movies on the Zero Science Podcast Network, or wherever you download podcasts.
Ugh, damn it, I burned the popcorn.
Be cool, Daddy-O. 'Cause hell is a musical, hell is a musical. Musical hell. Stuck with Travolta and other people that you hate, but you have to do it anyway. Stuck in musical hell. With Lilz and Scott.
Now, a woman who kissed on the very first date is usually a hussy. And a woman who kissed on the second time out is anything but fussy. But a woman who waits till the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground, she's the girl he's glad he's found. She's his shapoopy.
Hello, and welcome to Hell is a Musical, where the road to hell is paved with choreographed and razzmatazz intentions. I'm Scott.
76 trombones in every day. 76 trombones in every
And apparently Robert Goulet killed Lilz.
I wasn't actually Robert Goulet.
Were you Robert Preston?
I don't know.
So what did we watch?
We watched The Music Man, a 1962 American musical film directed and produced by Morton DaCosta, based on Meredith Wilson's 1957 Broadway musical of the same name. It features Robert Preston, Shirley Jones, Buddy Hackett, Hermione Gingold, Paul Ford, and Ron Howard.
I believe he's credited as Little Ronnie Howard.
Okay, Widow Ronnie Howard.
Yeah, so I really like The Music Man. I know it's a musical that I've talked to, not with you about, but past and future guest David Allen Prescott. I've talked to him about it because this musical is insane. The thing that it basically covers is a con man who, in my opinion, he is not a con man. Because to do a con, you have to do something that doesn't exist. Like on The Simpsons, they based an entire episode, Marge versus the Monorail, on The Music Man in 1970s disaster movies like Airport. And I don't remember a con man actually delivering the goods.
Yeah, I mean, they actually got the instruments, so
and the
what's the problem?
They got the instruments, they got the costumes or uniforms.
They got the instruments, they got the uniforms. He delivered on all of his He delivered on all of his promises to what I can only describe as the dumbest town in America.
But he doesn't teach them how to play the music. That's what the whole con is that he sells them trombones and trumpets and the uniforms, but he doesn't teach them how to play. He's like, hey, think of the music and you'll be able to play it.
I mean, was that even part of the pitch, really?
Yeah, it was. I will give you the instruments, the uniforms, and I'll teach you how to play. But hey, there's someone in town who teaches music.
Yep.
Shirley Jones.
Yep.
So everyone in this town is stupid.
Everyone is stupid and very easily scared by billiards tables.
Yeah, because
billiards tables and nonsense language.
Right, because like the whole thing is all the other salesmen, which can we agree that everyone at the beginning of this movie sings like they're having a stroke?
Pretty much.
You got to do the talk in the town. Are you okay?
That's early rap. That's early rap music. Clearly, it was that. Then the Sugar Hill Gang.
I will say, like, the way the movie starts is, so little spoilers. I watched both versions of this. I watched this, the 1960s version, and I watched the remake that they did with Matthew Broderick on Broadway. And that one is not good. That was made by The Wonderful World of Disney.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's really bad. This one at least has Buddy Hackett. So I will sporadically be talking about the difference between Robert Preston's performance and Matthew Broderick's, because I will say that Kristen Chenoweth is better than Shirley Jones, but that's about the only thing that the other one has going. And maybe Molly Shannon as the mayor's wife.
I'm sure there is like a very, very wide array of differences between the two. I mean, the 2003 one has Matthew Broderick. The 1962 one doesn't have someone who committed vehicular manslaughter and got away with it. As far as I'm aware.
Did I tell you the story that CB, past and future guest Christopher Brown, we're in this movie group, and someone posted a review, like a letterbox review of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but it was just accounting that vehicular incident report. They copied and pasted the police report.
Oh, man.
of Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey in that car accident.
Woof. Very appropriate, but woof.
And I'm like, wow, that's one hell of a letterbox. But why did they give it 3 stars? So, yeah, that version, like, it doesn't make sense. The reason why they casted Matthew Broderick in that version is because he was fresh off of the producer's Broadway show, not the movie. The movie hadn't even been made yet. So they're like, oh, yeah, he's a singing dance douchebag.
Yeah, see, like, I talked about this with Seuss very briefly. I didn't watch the 2003 one, but maybe you can attest to this since you watched both. Seuss said that she saw the 2003 one, and the main takeaway from her is that Matthew Broderick, as an actor, is way too nice to be playing someone like Harold Hill.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, because, so Robert Preston gives off this air of, like, he's
Clever
not a
scumbag.
Kind of. It's more like he's got that, like, Bill Murray, Dr. Peter Venkman thing going on. Like
that kind of, he's a rascal that always lands on his feet sort of vibe.
Like Top Cat. Like,
sure, like Top Cat.
And Matthew Broderick is more like Snagglepuss. Heavens to Murgatroyd. But yeah, you need someone who can pull off this whole, I'm a con man, I'm a slick seller, you know. That's why my biggest problem with this just came back. Part of the reason why we picked this year is because we were originally supposed to record this in March, but our guest couldn't do March, so we pushed it, and then our guest couldn't do today. So
we were just like, fuck it, we're doing it live.
We already watched it. Let's just do it. So they got a Broadway revival going right now with Hugh Jackman as Professor Hill, Professor Harry Hill. But the problem with that is it's that nice guy thing again. He doesn't come off as like a slick salesman. The perfect person to play this role is Seth MacFarlane.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, it is and it isn't. If you've watched any episode of Family Guy, you know that he loves the Music Man. Also,
no, I'm well aware of his predilection for that specific era of musicals.
He also, on his first album, do you know Seth MacFarlane has 7 albums? Anyways.
Jesus.
On his first one, he does the sadder.
I forget who said this, but I heard this once in a podcast, and I absolutely love it. Someone, like, I forget which podcast it was or even who said it, but they basically said Hell is being stuck at the Fuzzy Door Productions Christmas party, having to listen to Seth MacFarlane sing Christmas carols.
A jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin. Hey, how's it going? Laid an egg.
And where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, I was just gonna get some more punch. The punch bowl's over there. Yeah. Okay.
A chestnut's roasting over an open fire. A Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Where's everyone going? Wait.
Party's in here. Party's in here, my guys.
But yeah, Seth MacFarlane did The Sadder But Wiser Girl on his first album.
How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz, for the lady who knows what time it is. I cheer, I rave, for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
And he loves this role, and I'm surprised that they didn't get him to do it. Because he has this, you know, if you've seen anything he's ever done, he has this slick salesman. I mean, the man has like 7 TV shows right now. So, getting back to the actual plot. A man comes into town after being on a train with a bunch of douchebags who, these men are con men. There's one guy who's selling anvils.
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean,
he's like, I already went to Looney Tunes Town.
I mean, I know it's the early 60s and they're going to a backwater place in Iowa where people are still afraid of the sun, but come on.
No, the movie was made in the 60s. This takes place in 1895.
Oh, yeah.
But cars...
So were they still using... They couldn't have still been using anvils by then, though.
Maybe. There was one blacksmith.
Unless it was 1910 Ren Fair.
Yeah, I mean, but the point is, like, there's one douchebag anvil salesman who's like, oh man, I can't sell my anvils because Professor Hill keeps stealing my territories, and once he sells them, you know, musical instruments, no one wants to buy anvils. No one wanted to buy anvils in the first place.
As soon as Harold Hill hit up 1910 Ren Fair, it's all over.
Oh, man.
I say there, you carpetbaggers, watch as I make some pauldrons.
Well, a Ren Fair without instruments is kind of like a mule with a spinning wheel.
This is already getting off the rails.
Well, when he shows up in town, you find out that his old partner, played by Buddy Hackett, is, you know, already living there, almost like Jane Goodall in the Mist. Like, oh yeah, I've been here for years. I've been studying these people. Are you not doing cons? No, I'm getting hitched. I never realized how much I love Buddy Hackett's voice.
Buddy Hackett before he was enslaved and imprisoned by Disney for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing and the most depressing thing is everyone in this town
is stupid.
Besides being stupid, is so weird looking that the best sexual option is Buddy Hackett. This is like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wasn't sure if I was the only one who thought that, but everyone in that town looks like the town
Play-Doh.
was built like the town was built on a Superfund site.
Yeah, like, so in the library, there are these, like, 5 guys who are dancing with Harold Hill, and they all look, they're supposed to be, like, teenagers, but they all look like they're 45.
Yeah, everyone looks like spitting image puppets.
Yep. And I just find it so bizarre that everyone's like, oh, man, Marcellus, man, he's the bee's knees. He's the cat's pajamas. We gotta fuck Buddy Hackett.
I don't know. I feel like the school board, or at least an 8.
Oh, you mean the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, yes. They were my favorite part of the entire movie. Every time they were on screen, I just enjoyed every minute of it, both for, you know, obviously they're very talented as a barbershop quartet.
But they're billed as the Buffalo Bills. Like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, the entire football team? and the cheerleaders?
Repeat after me. We are the Bills, and we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. It's the Bears, I know it. But no, like, obviously, like, they're incredibly talented as a barbershop quartet. And the mere fact that
they were the highest grossing, the band, the barbershop quartet, the Buffalo Bills, were so famous, they had, like, 20 gold records.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
but, like, not only that, but every time they're on screen, you know that it's going to be hilarious, because in this town of incredibly stupid people, they are easily one of the stupidest group of people in there.
Yeah, because by the fourth time, they need to realize that Harold Hill is trying to get one over on them. Like, as soon as he goes, "Good night, ladies," and they're like, "Good night, ladies," they should have been like, hey, knock that off.
Ooh, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 50 other times.
Oh, looks like we're going to Panama. Panama.
Panama. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, because everyone is easily tricked. And then, oh my God, the mayor himself is the biggest piece of shit in this town. Because he's mad at Harold Hill because Harold Hill took away his billiards parlor and he put his hard-earned money that he was probably embezzling from that town.
Is that why he hates Harold Hill? That's a part that I missed.
Yeah, he is the one who owns the billiards parlor.
Okay. I just assumed it was because, like, he's the center of attention in his town. He's the mayor. Gimme.
No, because you have the very stereotypical police officer who is like, "Oh, you made one mistake, Harold Hill. Actually, you made two. One is the billiards parlor. That was the mayor's establishment. What was the second one? The girl that you just sent Tommy off with is the mayor's daughter." And then Robert Preston looks at the barrel of the camera and goes, "Oh, boy."
Okay, officer, I'll come quietly. Looks like I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law. Shit! That's how he always gets us.
No, that's it, Professor Hill. You come here right now. Oh, yeah, of course, because it's closing time. Closing time. One last call for alcohol.
No, God damn it. You're not going to do it this time. All right, I'll come to your window.
I'll be home soon. God damn it, Professor Hill, you get back here. Well, you ought to know. I want you to know.
To know.
I had faith in you. Oh, man, guys, he got away again.
We're the worst cops ever, guys.
Yeah, we really are. Now I want to see this movie where they just keep getting one over.
They keep getting close to finally kidnapping Professor Harold Hill, and then he just slips away every time on a song.
Ah, man. I guess it's just a fantasy. Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. Sorry, guys. I need to go take that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving. On that midnight train to Georgia. Damn it, he did it again. But the smartest
I'm gonna quit
person,
the cops and get my GED, guys.
the smartest person in town is Marion Peru.
Yeah, Shirley Jones' character.
Yes, because, and this is actually the thing. Everyone forgets about this. How do I say this nicely? She slept with the guy who basically was the richest person in town. They don't really talk about it. It's hinted at, but there's no way in hell that her brother, Winthrop, is her brother, because her mother is 75.
Yeah, there's no way that was standing.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. Like, everyone's like, oh, yeah. Isn't it amazing that woman had a child at the tender age of 69? Wow, I'm surprised she's not dead.
They're just way too nice in the social contract being what it is in the 1910s because everyone's afraid of sex. And the sun.
But the richest guy in town left her with all of the books in the town, so that way she would have to be the librarian.
So she would have to be the librarian.
Yes, because she could
See, that seems like a more elaborate con than Harold Hill's whole
Yeah,
thing.
He's just trying to sell instruments, and this guy is basically, I guess, almost Willy Wonka-ing his will. Why didn't he just leave her the library?
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between, like, I've got a brilliant con. First, I'll tell them I'm gonna sell them instruments. Then, by golly, I'll sell them instruments. And, oh, I love you. Psych, you're the librarian now. Zoom.
Hey.
What the hell just happened?
Hey, Harold, I don't understand your con. So you sell instruments, they show up, and you do uniforms now? Shouldn't you just take the money?
Usually cons don't involve giving the people everything they want.
I know. And can we talk about that? This is a musical where, with the exception of Shirley Jones, no one can fucking sing. Robert Preston can carry a tune, but he's got that, like, Phil Hartman-style singing voice where, like, you don't care that he's bad.
Just because he sounds so, like, stentorian.
Yeah, he sounds like Robert Goulet. He's got that crooner voice. Like,
he's also kind of doing the Rex Harrison thing for, like, the majority of it, where he's not singing, he's more talk singing.
Yeah. You got trouble with a capital T that rhymes with P that stands for pool.
Why can't trouble begin with a capital T?
The other thing that I thought was ridiculous is in the You've Got Trouble scene when he's like, are your kids saying words like swell or so's your old man? I'm like, those are like common greetings. It's like, is your kid saying things like keep it sleazy, smell you later, and suck my fat one LaChance?
Are your kids saying things like keep it on the flip-flop, stay greasy, and Uncle Jerry's whiz-bang bonanza?
Ever since I saw this, I always ended up just out of nowhere. If I had to flee someplace, I'd be like, whiz-bang! I just, like, he's not a very good con man.
Not really, no.
He needs to take, like a lesson from Bart Simpson.
I feel like he would be better served as a con artist because, like, this is one of those musicals where the dance sequences take up approximately 4/5 of the musical numbers.
Yeah.
And I feel like during any of those, when he gets everyone going and everyone's just dancing and just parading through the town, no one's going to notice if he just slips away and steals all of their belongings.
Right.
That's a more well thought out con than his thing.
Right, like during Shapoopy, when he's dancing with like all the women, like he could be stealing their necklaces or like their bracelets. And
yeah, pretty much.
When he passes them off to like another male dancer, he just like, steals their wallet. Hey, did you just grab my ass? Yes. I wasn't stealing your wallet. Well, okay then.
Well, it is the 1910s, and I'm terrified.
But the overall theme of this musical is that he comes to town, his whole ruse is that he's going to seduce the librarian, and then, like, he falls in love with her. I don't think he's a very good con man.
Yeah, he's really not. Everything about this con just goes completely, completely backfires on him in many ways than you can imagine.
And as soon as he gets like found out by her, she's okay with it because Winthrop comes up to her and is like, sister. I don't know why Winthrop has a lisp.
I assume that was a directorial choice. Was that in the musical?
Yeah, it's in all of the musicals.
Oh.
But I just remember we went to high school with a kid who had a lisp, and he just went up to me. He's like, Scott, whoever put an S in lisp is a real asshole. And I'm like,
Can't say that I blame him for that. Yeah.
I find that hysterical. But like Ron Howard, this was Wani Howard. This was the same time that he was doing
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, he was directing the Da Vinci Code at the age of 5. No, he was doing Andy Griffith's show at the same time as this. And this always reminds me of the movie Bebe's Kids because...
Why, Scott? Tell me.
Because there's
enlighten me. Why exactly does Ron Howard in The Music Man remind you of Bebe's Kids?
Oh, you're going to feel like a jerk because there is a reason, so go fuck yourself.
No, I'm genuinely curious about how this will play out.
Because there is a kid who looks exactly like Ron Howard, and they're like, what are you looking at? And he's like, oh, nothing. And they're like, what's your name? And he's like, Winthrop. And they're like, yeah, we're going to call you Opie. So they do a nod to The Music Man with Winthrop, and then they do a nod to Andy Griffith's show with Opie. And that kid went on to direct Solo, a Star Wars Inferno.
A beautiful Solo.
Cocoon Solo. Splash.
Low.
Splash Low, yes. Backdraft Low. Parenthood
anyway.
Low. So yeah, but like Ron Howard still talks about this, and they're like, oh, did you still do the lisp? And he's like, of course I do. Thuster. I'm like, dude, you're like 73 years old. Stop it.
Yeah, you don't need to keep doing that.
I wish someone would just ask him the question, like, hey, so was Shirley Jones really supposed to be your sister? This interview's over. No more questions, please, and thank you.
Hey, do you still steal the lisp? Yeah, well, just watch. I directed Frost Nixon, fucker.
Hey, I am the director of Drive, damn it. I am close and personal friends with Daniel Bruhl. Wow, that's a deep cut there. But yeah, I think that this movie should have ended with him just opening up a music shop in town.
Yeah, that would have made a lot of sense. Or like a community center for like that kind of stuff.
Well, do you know why being a traveling salesman was such a con or taboo? Even when they made the movie in the 60s, at this point there was a guy in the 1960s who looked like Paul Newman, who was a traveling salesman, and he was going from door to door boffing housewives and getting them pregnant because he looked like Paul Newman.
And that was his con?
No, he was just a traveling salesman who worked for like either Avon or Hoover Vacuum Company, and he basically just went from town to town, and apparently he's in the Guinness Book? But he fathered over 100 children.
Jesus.
Because they're like, are you Paul Newman? He's like, yes, I'm practicing for a role where I play a traveling salesman. Yeah, that's the ticket.
You want some salsa?
Here, I'll make us some drinks. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, so martini's good. But yeah, like this time period, being a salesman was almost a death sentence because people would get so upset that in this, their solution is to tar and feather him. They're like, yeah, we'll show him. No, that will kill him.
Yeah, that's a form of torture.
That's murder. We're going to tar and feather him.
You would do less damage if you just, everyone in town punched him in the stomach and took your money back.
Oh, can we also talk about how the mayor's daughter is supposed to be a teenager, but she looks like she's 30?
Of course she does. No one in this movie is a teenager.
Well, Tommy, the kid who plays Tommy, looks like he's a teenager. And then they're like, oh, why don't you take this nice young lady to the soda fountain? And she's like, oh, me? Sure, anything you say, Mr. Preston. And did you also notice that when the kids were singing during Wells Fargo, they were dubbed by older people?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone, no one was actually singing during that song, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they got to, like, that one couple who was just like, I got a wash tub! I got the thing! No one sounds like that.
Yeah, this entire musical, I only like it because it is ridiculous. Because it shows how dumb, these people in this town are. And I had, when I watched Schmigadoon last year, it made me have an appreciation because it does Brigadoon, it does The Music Man, it does Carousel, and it does like a bunch of old-timey musicals of this time period, like Oklahoma. And the one that features Keegan-Michael Key's character the most is The Music Man, and they do bring up the fact that it's like, yes, she's my sister, and they're like, yeah, okay, and she's like, no, I'm really your mother, and the kid's like, you're a fucking liar, lady. Unfortunately, there's no Buddy Hackett. Yeah, so the other thing that doesn't age well with this musical is every dance number that the mayor's wife does, because she is basically offending a different culture every single time.
Oh, for sure.
The headdress, the Native American headdress.
Yeah, there were a lot of things in this movie that, just screamed, this was made more than 50 years ago. And those things really just sort of screamed them from a bullhorn.
So, Lilypad, I'm looking up Meredith Wilson's biography. Do you know what his real name is?
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up on Wikipedia. Would it happen to be Robert Reininger Meredith Wilson?
Yeah. Why didn't you just go with Robert Wilson?
Yeah, that's a good point. I just assumed maybe it was some sort of conceit towards an artistic sounding name, a Meredith Wilson might imply the same sort of gravitas as a Tennessee Williams or something like that.
Well, then go with Reininger Wilson. Reininger Wilson.
Yeah.
One of his
not?
3 names.
One of his many aliases. Meredith Wilson, Robert Reininger, Robert Wilson, Reininger Meredith, and the Hamburglar.
I used to be the Grimace.
But hamburgling was where my true passion lay.
Yeah, I didn't like being a milkshake. I still don't understand how this works out. Do you know that he made the most money not on The Music Man? He made the most money on Till There Was You because the Beatles sang it.
Well, that would do it.
Yeah, because Paul McCartney did a cover of Till There Was You, and he made all of his money from those royalties. He was basically getting it. Oh, this sounds wrong. He was getting it until the day he died. But in 1984,
hamburgers, that is, because he is the Hamburglar.
In 1984, he basically, on his deathbed, was just going, ka-ching, ka-ching, and then his heart gave out.
I'm taking it all with me, dum-dums. When you said, something that doesn't age well in this movie, obviously, all the weird, unfortunate cultural moments with Native American headdresses and that weird number where all those old ladies were dressed up like the sirens.
How about the fact that he sings about looking for loose women in front of a little girl?
Yeah, that too. What I was going to say is what I thought you were going to say was the fact that this film very firmly on its sleeve gets an F- on the Bechdel test.
Oh, yeah. the mother is like, who cares if he is a swindler? Maybe he'll do it with you.
Yeah, like Harold Hill really just like the first meeting between Harold Hill and Marion Peru. Like he just accosts her on the street.
It's creepier in the Matthew Broderick version.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's
and
much
like when he's
worse
because
he pulls up in his car and he's like, "Hey, want to go to Amsterdam? I don't know which side of the road to drive on." Too dark?
No, I think that's about right. But, like, she's telling her mother later, and instead of being like, "Oh my God, I'm so concerned. I'm so sorry to hear that this random stranger accosted you." The moment, like, Shirley Jones says, this weird guy followed me for a while, she was just like,
"Does he have candy?"
Dick!
Yeah, she's basically like, "Come on, you know you want to do it." People are starting to ask questions about Winthrop because, as everyone knows, I stopped having children with you.
Yeah, take the heat off of me for a while so people start talking about you instead.
Well,
You just like dating this random stranger Ronald Reagan-looking motherfucker.
Well, you got trouble here.
With a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for...
Mommy.
76 jelly beans in a jar on my desk.
Just say no is what Mommy said.
I'm ignoring the AIDS crisis. Anyway.
Not talking to Rock Hudson anymore. Because he was a dick. But Robert Preston in this was... The studio did not want him. The studio went to Cary Grant. And Cary Grant said, "I will not watch The Music Man if it doesn't have Robert Preston in it." And they're like, "Oh, okay," because we care about Cary Grant's money. And then basically they're like, "Fine, fuck Cary Grant, we'll get Sinatra." And Sinatra's like, "Doobie, doobie, doo, yeah, I'll do it." And Meredith Wilson is like, "I will not sell you the rights to my musical if anyone other than Robert Preston."
I like the way the Wikipedia article describes this under casting notes. Because it said, like, Warner, to refer to Jack L. Warner. Warner then intended Frank Sinatra for the Harold Hill role. But
the Harold Hill role?
That's the...
that's the porn version.
That's the Courtney Love version. Let me try that again.
No, I'm keeping it in.
Warner then intended Frank Sinatra for the Harold Hill role, but was finally foiled by Meredith Wilson.
Well, like foiled. It's Wacky Erasers? Sorry, Poopsie.
Drat and double drat. You've eluded my grasp for the last time, Meredith Wilson.
I'm the dog that laughs.
Frank Sinatra, do something. Sinatra.
Doobie,
that's what I should have said.
Doobie, doo.
Fine, I'll give you a medal.
Doobie, doobie, doo.
2 medals.
Doob. Can I go marry Mia Farrow now? All right. Okay. So the entire premise of the movie is you don't even realize that there is a villain. The mayor is supposed to be the villain, but he's kind of an idiot. But the whole time there's this other guy, the anvil salesman, who is in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then he's in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, what the weirdest Chekhov's gun ever.
Because you gotta talk. The other thing that I love is that Harold Hill is trying to get the mayor on his side, and he's like, "Oh my God, your hands are perfect. You know, your son could be the world's greatest flugelhorn player. Yes, your son, Chuck Mangione."
Oh my God, your hands are perfect. What?
I have some stuff in the back of my car. I mean wagon, because this is the 1900s.
Why don't you come to the back of my windowless 1910s van?
You mean your carriage?
Whatever. Let me just see those hands.
But of all the instruments he picks the flugelhorn.
Of course it does. It sounds the funniest.
Well, if it didn't work for you, it did work for Mayor Mangione in the other towns. And his son, little Chucky.
My son? And it just cuts to a guy just hugging his flugelhorn like...
Yeah, so should we get into the tracks, or did we, is there any last stuff you want to talk about?
I think anything else we'd be talking about would be in the context of the tracks.
Okay.
So I'm going off of the Warner Brothers Records soundtrack album listed on Wikipedia. Track number 1 is the main title / Rock Island.
5-4 kind of store anymore.
What do you talk?
Where do you get it? Gone. Gone with the hogshead, casket, demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tierce.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill.
No!
Yeah, that's
the rap song. That's the rap song.
You say rap song, I say they're having a stroke, but tomato.
Could be both.
Why not both?
Why not both? Both.
Yeah, this song is
Why not?
Everyone sounds like Max Headroom.
They do all sound like Max Headroom.
But yeah, they're not making it how do I put this? It's very obvious that the man who's facing away from the camera and we don't see his face or anything is definitely Harold Hill.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a much bigger reveal back in the 1960s when they made this movie, but now I think we're all like hip and meta and shit.
I will say that they do a decent job in the 2003 version.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because when he enters, he says, "Go, go, gadget!" Next track.
Well then, after that we got Iowa Stubborn by The Ensemble.
Oh, there's nothing halfway about the Iowa way to treat you when we treat you, which we may not do at all.
There's an Iowa kind, the special chip on the shoulder attitude we've never been without.
That we recall.
Yep. This is We're Douchebags.
Welcome to Iowa. Nobody here knows anything.
Yeah. Do you know what other film takes place in Iowa? Napoleon Dynamite. God.
I'm glad you talked first. I was going to say something stupid like the Slipknot biopic. That's literally the first thing I think of when I think of Iowa.
I think of Napoleon Dynamite. But yeah, imagine Napoleon Dynamite's like, "Wow, you got me my flugelhorn. Thanks.
Thanks, mister.
Sister, God."
Have we reached a point where, like, I mean, maybe, like, we've passed that point, but I feel like doing the Napoleon Dynamite voice at this point, maybe not anymore since it's kind of been usurped by it, but at some point I feel like it was on par with doing the Borat my wife voice for just
Very
like,
nice.
yeah, okay. We get it. Mm-hmm. You
Wow,
watched
wow,
the thing.
wee, wow.
My wife, Borat.
We make of the sex. That's how Borat goes. That's the Borat impression.
A big boner. Hello, my name is Borat. Big boner.
Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
I'm Kermit. Hello. Kermit the Frog here.
Next track.
Track number 3. This one I remember very vividly because I did that in a theater thing. You Got Trouble. Robert Preston and the Ensemble.
Yeah, we did this in a cabaret night.
Any water till your parents are caught with a cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the Knickerbocker, shirt-tail young ones, peeking in the pool hall window after school. You got trouble, folks, right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now,
yeah, that was what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And, like...
David sang that, right?
Yeah, David sang that. I and were both like two drunk people, and whoever was directing told me like, no, don't improv, because I was like acting very drunk. Just like, what do you want with me? You want it drunk, right?
No, this is a dry county.
Why are we billed as drunks? You're drunk on life.
They have root beer.
Sarsaparilla.
So you guys, I'm sorry, you should be diabetes person number 1 and diabetes person number 2.
You're just completely off your gourd on Whorehound.
Aw, man, we're drunk off of Bubblicious.
Bubblegum brand?
My pee is pink.
Here's track number 4. Piano Lesson. Shirley Jones and Pert Kelton.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with the same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Marion and her ma.
Yeah, so this is the one that Seth MacFarlane did on Family Guy. Yeah.
I do very much appreciate the little running joke where, like, the girl keeps getting the note wrong and everyone just keeps hitting the right note on it. Dun, 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 dun.
God damn it, Amaryllis. Whoever named their kid Amaryllis is the biggest asshole in the world.
We're never going to get to Carnegie Hall at this point.
Oh, man, George Carlin's going to get there before you and Lenny Bruce.
So, I thought that one was fine too.
Yeah, it's just once again talk singing.
I feel like in this movie musical, there are like several super big hitters that everyone remembers, and a whole bunch of just padding.
Yeah, I mean that's the Music Man to a T. Because you come for You've Got Trouble, 76 Trombones, Till There Was You, Shapoopy, and the Wells Fargo Wagon.
Really? You think the Wells Fargo Wagon was a big one?
Everyone loves that one.
It's track 5. Good Night, My Someone.
Brightest light, for good night, my love, for good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me.
It's a longing song.
Yeah, well, the creepiest thing about this one is when at the very end the little girl sings it with her, and I wanted Shirley Jones to be like, excuse me, this is not a duet.
I kind of wanted, like, the girl to, like, chime in and just be very badly off-key.
Good night, my someone to...
What are you doing?
You're a piano teacher, not a voice coach.
This is my fucking musical number. But I just wanted to do this. Well, don't.
So in the research here, Shirley Wilson found out while she was singing this song that she was pregnant, and the director of the movie is like, don't tell anyone because they'll fire you. And
oh boy.
So they covered it up with like corsets, and they shot her from, the neck up.
Corsets. Ooh, that must not have been good for the birth.
So
that must not have been good for the baby.
Well, Patrick Cassidy turned out fine. He played Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamboat.
Dreamboat.
I say that every time. But yeah, so when they were filming the kissing bridge scene, what's his name? Robert Preston scoops her up in his arms, and the baby kicks, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And that's how they found out.
Oh boy. After that, we got track number 6. You Got Trouble / 76 Trombones.
76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun.
Yeah, because this is where he does, in the town meeting, this is where they basically he does the Bart Simpson from It's a Cow's Heart. What are they doing here? Hey, where's the pool table? Yeah, the pool table.
We need to keep our boys pure. Pure boys! What? Hang on. That's not what I told you to say. What?
Yeah, that's super creepy. And
buddy,
the other...
buddy, you're going to have to leave town. Oh, no! I was just doing what you told me to do.
But yeah, in the other version, in the 2003 version...
I can't help you out of this one, buddy. Oh, man.
In the 2003 version, instead of the giant musical dance number, it's Matthew Broderick in his 76 trombones, his band director costume, sitting next to Amaryllis, and they basically sitting down do a tap dance number, going back and forth with their feet.
That sounds like some last day of filming decisions.
Yeah, it's like, well, we were supposed to choreograph something. What happened? Well, when we told them that we needed a new musical dance number, the choreographer jumped out the window. Joke's on her. We're on the second floor. She's fine. But
nope. You want Broderick, you're going to get him sitting down. Do a sit-down number. So 76, that's what you get.
That's all you get from me, Matthew Broderick, the toast of Broadway. Wanted felon. Acquitted.
And that's the bit in question. That's the musical bit in question where they have that big pompous parade throughout the city.
That's how they end the movie too, yeah.
And really just leaving them completely open to just purloining.
Right. Well, when they're doing the parade through the town and they're pretending to play instruments, I just wanted some guy from the sanitarium next door to come out with a butterfly net and be like, "Oh, soup's on." Old Mort, he's going to be making his money today. I get $2 per wacko. And I see 50 wackos. Wow, that's like $50 times 2. That's 100, Mort. Oh, boy.
That's why I work in the sanitarium.
I don't need to do any of that fancy think-talking. Next track.
Track number 7, Sincere by the Buffalo Bills.
Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Mystify, tell me what can be fair.
The ice cream song.
Yeah, there's no other... How is this being sincere? There's no other word other than ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. What if there was just a fifth falsetto person, like a little kid comes in, and he's like, Sherry. Oh my God, it's little Frankie Valli.
So I mentioned in our group chat, I thought of a very weird, like, childhood story relevant to the Music Man, and to this song and the next one specifically. I have a very vivid memory of my parents playing the Music Man soundtrack, the soundtrack to this film.
I thought you were going to say your dad showed up in a barbershop quartet, straw hat, and pinstripe suit.
Yeah, he tried to sell me a cornet. It didn't work. It wasn't a good time.
Lily Pad, what do you think of my bass player? Hello. Please leave.
Don't you need some more people?
I'm
working on it. Why aren't you singing? I'm the manager. But anyway, we had the soundtrack playing, and I remember very vividly the record had some scratches on it in some very, very specific spots. And I remember vividly at one point my brother and I just laughing ourselves to tears because during this song specifically, it kept repeating in such a way that it sounded like the Buffalo Bills were singing beer, 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 beer over and over again.
Ice cream, What if all of the Buffalo Bills sounded like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs? Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies.
We're not here to start any trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl show.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me with 76 trombones. Can you guys leave?
The other track I remember skipping a lot is, in fact, our next track. Track number 8, Pick a Little, Talk a Little. And yes, it did. And yes, it did repeat on the Pick a Little, Talk a Little, Cheap, 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 Cheap part.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk, cheep, 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 cheep.
Professor, her kind of woman doesn't belong on any committee. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books?
Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac.
Pick a little, talk a little, cheep, cheep, cheep.
Cheap, 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 talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a little, cheap, 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 cheap.
Lilz, stay away from that window. Nope, don't jump out. I can't take it anymore. Once again on the first floor. Well, that was uneventful.
Yep.
But yeah, this song is
this
annoying.
Song.
Yeah. This song is basically them being like, yeah, she's a tramp.
She's a tramp, and we're all annoying.
I love the one woman who's like, why didn't he pick me? And it's like, well, she's Shirley Jones.
Because you're an octogenarian.
Yeah, I was about to say that. But yeah.
Because she's Shirley Jones, and you're an octogenarian.
Quiet, Ann Ramsey.
But so is he. Shh. The audience isn't supposed to know that.
Next song.
As far as they're concerned, he's 35.
Next track.
The Sadder But Wiser Girl.
No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir, for no Diana do I play fawn. I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz. For the lady who knows what time it is, I cheer and I rave. For the virtue I'm too late to say. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
I actually like this song.
That's the one where they're singing about loose women in front of a small girl who just wanted to see the ponies.
Yeah, I love how that scene starts like the knock on the door and Buddy Hackett's like, what do you want? And she's like, can I see the ponies? Like, okay. I hope you don't mind me and my buddy here singing about loose women.
And she applauds them at the end.
Yeah, it's like,
yay, loose women!
What's that?
I just came to see the ponies. I didn't know I was going to get a show all about sluts.
Hey. Amaryllis, we are sex positive here.
I didn't say it was bad that they're sluts. Fair enough. Sex work is real work. Wow, you're very progressive for the 1910s.
Well, I'm about to be tarred and feathered. You know, murder. Next track.
After that, we got Marion the Librarian.
Oh, what can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to Marion.
Okay,
the song that will inevitably get you kicked out of any library in America.
Well, this is also the song that shows what a fucking douchebag. Yeah, he wasn't a very good con man, but man, he's a real piece of shit in this song. It's like, you know what I got here? Marbles.
Like, hey, audience, not only is he a really bad con man, but he's also a complete fucking creep.
But see, when he says it in this one, he's like, marbles, 12 Aggies, 7 twirlies, and a cat's eye that has an American flag in it. And in the Matthew Broderick version, he goes, I got marbles. I got 12 Aggies? And it's like, it doesn't sound creepy. It's supposed to be like...
Yeah, the Herald, like... Robert Preston playing Harold Hill in this movie has illicit intent in this number, while I'm sure the Matthew Broderick one just wants to play marbles.
Come on, all I want to do is...
Check out my marbles, aren't they neat?
I'm married to Sarah Jessica Parker. She was originally supposed to be in this, and then she dropped out.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yep, because she had the final season of Sex and the City. So they got Kristen Chenoweth, who is much better.
Well, I mean, I imagine she's got much better, musical credentials.
Yeah.
Than Sarah Jessica Parker.
I mean, Kristen Chenoweth talks about, on one of Conan's last interviews, he talks about sex faces, and Kristen Chenoweth was a guest, and she's like, do you want to see my sex face?
Want to see mine? You want to see mine?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Here's your camera. There's your camera right here. Here we go.
I probably have already inserted that clip.
Yet another one, this one, where the dancing is, once again, 4/5 of the entire number.
Yeah, once again. So in the 2003 version, the big dance between them is all in her head.
And they're sitting down.
Yeah, Ashley. He keeps popping...
I was joking.
He keeps just showing up and leaning over things like he'll pop out of nowhere like he's Q from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah, that's creepy nowadays.
That's a John Delancey joke for everyone.
After that, we got track number 11, Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana, as a Shakespeare would say, trips along softly on the tongue this way. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Let me say it once again.
I actually like this one. Gary,
this one was fine.
Indiana, Gary, Indiana. But the fact that he's just dancing...
Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah, the fact that he's just dancing in front of Miriam's mom, and Marion is just like, oh, okay. And Marion's mom's like, dance for mommy.
Okay, so I just watch this. Yes, child. Don't look away. Watch mommy dance.
The look on her face as Robert Preston is dancing by himself for her, she's like, oh, it must be my birthday. Super creepy.
So creepy.
Next track.
We got Being in Love.
Knee deep in love, what a lovely dream, and yet somehow me deep in love's only half of what I'm longing for now.
This is fine.
Which one was this one?
It's the one she sings with her mom.
I just finished watching it, and I don't remember which one that was.
She sings it with her mom about, wanting... Because her mom's like, you need to get porked, and she's like, stop it.
Oh, yeah. That's basically her equivalent of She Likes Me for Me by Blessed Union of Souls.
She likes me for me, not because I sing like Pavarotti.
I didn't. I'm Shirley Jones.
Next track.
Track 13, The Wells Fargo Wagon.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon, it's a-comin' now. I don't know how I can ever wait to see. It could be something for someone who is no relation, but it could be something special just for me.
I like this song.
Did Wells Fargo mean something different back in those days than
they were like
insurance?
They were... Are you thinking of Loomis Fargo for insurance?
Oh, maybe.
Wells Fargo is a bank.
Right, Wells Fargo is a bank. That's why do they still have like a mail truck though?
Because they had a monopoly on finances and package delivery.
Oh, okay. So it was like one of those trust busting kind of things.
They were the Midwest equivalent of Amazon. The Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the train. I hope they got my panini press too. If they leave it on my doorstep and someone takes it, I'm gonna beat an ass or two.
The Wells Fargo wagon has put my small business out of business, and I'm sad.
This one, I remember it the most, not because of this musical, but because in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, they go, "Oh my God, the school's doing the Music Man. I love the Music Man." And Lisa Kudrow just goes, "The Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the train."
After that, track 14. Oh boy, the Buffalo Bills are back with Lita Rose / Will I Ever Tell You.
Light a rose, I'm home again, road to get the sun back in the sky. Light a rose, I'm home again, rose.
Light a rose, I'm home again. Aw, damn it, he got away.
How does this keep happening?
This isn't fair.
Come on, just at this point, just give yourself up for our sake. We need a win.
No, guys, I got it.
We can't take another L.
This is what we do. We show up while he's asleep, we put a pillow over his face, and then we beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, good luck singing that time. You won't get us this time.
Now's the time to say goodnight. Golden slumbers. Damn it, we gotta do it. Golden slumbers fill your eyes. Damn it, he did it again.
How does this keep happening?
What a coincidence. Yeah. Next track.
Yeah, the Shirley Jones can still sing good. The Buffalo Bills are still gullible idiots. After that, we got Gary, Indiana reprise, this time being sung by Juan Howard.
Gary, Indiana, let me say it once again.
Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. My brother was on Star Trek at this time.
Was he?
Yeah, Clint Howard. He played the big-headed baby.
Not even
joking.
I know you're not even joking.
He played a telepathic baby with a giant head.
Wow. After that, a reprise of Lita Rose, which really is just a continuation of the one that they were singing before. And like fucking
I wanted the mayor to come out and be like, "Are you two douchebags still singing?"
Harold Hill just walks by them, and they keep singing. Like, that's the person that just evaded your capture, and you're just letting him go. I'm having too much fun singing. I know we've been deputized, but oh boy, have I got a song in my heart.
Yeah. Next track.
Track 17, Shy Poo Pie.
Squeeze her once when she isn't looking. You get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pepper upper, she will never get sore and a way to stop her. Now, little old Sal's no gal as anyone could see. Look at her now, she's a go gal who only goes for me. Squeeze her once when she isn't looking. Get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pepper upper, she will never get sore and a way to stop.
Shapoopy.
That's what I said, Shy Poo Pie.
So this is another one that we did at that cabaret night.
Yep. I don't remember if I played a drunk person in that or not.
No, we all had to dance with people. And I just remember David was standing next to me, and at the end of the song, he just goes, "Poopy!"
So does this song have a point?
It's so that we can ogle Buddy Hackett with the rest of the people.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have a look at that man candy.
Yeah, he's got an ass that won't quit. Hate to see him go. Love to watch him walk away. Yeah, him singing Buddy Hackett is the second best singer in this musical, and it sucks. Now, a woman who waits till the very end. And also, so when I was watching the Matthew Broderick version, she goes, the song is called Shapoopy. And I was like, yep. And she's like, poopy. I was like, yes, Shapoopy. And she goes, what does it mean? And I'm like, it's about loose women. And she's like, how many songs in this musical are about loose women? I'm like, at least 3.
Is it about loose women? Because I feel like they keep bringing up a girl who's hard to get.
That's the shapoopy. That's the type of girl you want. A woman who kissed on the very first date is usually a hussy.
Oh,
and
okay.
A girl who kissed on the second time around is anything
So it's about
but...
not being loose.
Yes. But they're still degrading 2 different types of women.
Yeah, pretty much.
The girl who kisses on the first date, the girl who kisses on the second date, and the girl who kisses on the third date.
Not very sex positive of you, buddy. Didn't we just have that song from before about sluts?
Sorry, I've been through some things.
I'm sorry. They cut the song about hand stuff.
I've been reading a lot of Jordan Peterson.
Oh, buddy, no.
No. Yeah.
He's been helping me get my life together and clean my room.
No, buddy, no.
Get out of here, Buddy Hackett. Haven't you been dead for 30 years?
Wouldn't you like to learn about slaying the dragon of cultural Marxism?
No, buddy. Track 18, the Beatles song, Till There Was You.
Till there was you, and there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew.
There were bells on the hill, and I never heard it singing.
Ooh.
And Ringo, right? And Ringo's like, "Can I sing a track?" No. Yeah, when I saw Paul McCartney live a few years ago, he did sing this. He's like, "I don't have to pay royalties to that douchebag Meredith Wilson because that fucker's dead." Ding, 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 ding. I don't know why he started playing "Stand in the Place Where You Live."
Really, it sounded like he was playing La Bamba. Here's a song called "There Was You." What are the words to La Bamba? Is Paul okay?
He got on a plane and he shouldn't have. Those aren't the lyrics, buddy.
Daniel is leaving tonight on the plane.
I'm pretty sure that is Baker Street.
Are you okay, Paul? Have you been outside a little too long?
Yeah.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Slam. Jam.
They left me in the car and they didn't crack a window. I'm like,
they left a note saying that I had plenty of water and me favorite tunes, but they didn't leave me any water or tunes.
Next track.
It's You by the Buffalo Bills, which it says here does not appear on the soundtrack album, but that's the one that they're singing with the old ladies doing weird Greek dances.
Yeah.
That's their idea of bringing culture to this town.
It's Iowa.
Yeah.
See, wouldn't you love for, Napoleon Dynamite to show up and start dancing in the Canned Heat?
Canned Heat's the song, right? Not the band Canned Heat.
Yeah, the song by Jamiroquai.
That would be an interesting image. It's him doing all his little gyrations. Going down to the country. Not matching up to the music at all.
No, the Jamiroquai song. Next track.
Good Night, My Someone, a reprise. Shirley Jones singing it in the windowsill.
Aren't they singing that in 76 Trombones at the same time?
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining, its brightest light.
There were horns of every shape and...
Was 76 Trombones part of that?
Yeah, because I thought that he's singing 76 Trombones, and she's like, good night, my someone.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then they switch, and then she's like, wait, why am I getting horny for trombones? And then
That's
David
right.
Cassidy comes in with his tambourine.
This musical is so revolutionary. Not only did it come up with the first rap song, it came up with the first mashup.
Next track.
Track 21. Reprise of Till There Was You. Now it's Harold Hill singing it.
Yeah.
It's my song again. Oh, except not my song because it is. Might as well be now. I'm not paying any more royalties.
There were bells on the hill.
Who let their dogs out? Who?
And I'm running up that hill. If I made a deal with God,
Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Paul, maybe you should take a rest for a little bit.
So we just
Maybe
did
have a
Till
sleep.
There Was You, running up that hill, dancing in the
Dogs out,
dark.
dancing in the dark. Get on it, mashup artists. And that goes for the other things we came up with earlier.
Next track.
A reprise and finale of 76 Trombones. That's the one where they finally get their uniforms, they finally get their instruments, and it turns out they can't actually play music very well.
I love how he's handcuffed, and they're like, okay, conduct this band. And he's like, how can I? I'm handcuffed, and you just gave me 6 cavity searches.
I thought I was about to die. And now you want me to conduct this band of tiny people. Otherwise known as children.
But yeah, I love how Tommy turns out to be the hero of this play, our musical. He's like, yeah, I made the piccolos, stand, and, I got the kids to put their band together. Also, this is a very sexist town because it can only be a boys' band.
Yeah.
It's a boy band.
No,
you stay away, Lou Pearlman. Stay the fuck away, you pervert.
And at no point does Tommy ever go hey, I put the band together. How about my cut?
I introduced you to the mayor's daughter. I already knew the mayor's daughter.
I want a piece of that pie.
All right. Apple or cherry?
At the end of the part where, all of a sudden everyone's just, transforming into these uniforms and all, the girls start transforming into color guard, I just thought to myself, wouldn't that be interesting if it turned out that was, some horrible plague that was spreading over the town?
Oh, God, it's music. What if it became the town from Footloose?
I mean, might as well be.
Yeah, because the only music that they have is they have a player piano, and then the only other piano in town is at Marion's house.
Yeah, pretty much. And, this big thing that just makes the town super progressive and liberal and stuff is marching band music.
I also love how they said that the only true instrument should be the Jew's harp. I'm like, oh, that doesn't age well. I feel attacked.
Yeah, that's, could have just called it a mouth harp. That word was right there.
No, assholes, this is 1910s.
Turns out they're not good at the mouth harp either.
That's how you do it, right? So that was The Music Man.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Do we have a rating system on this show?
Yeah, we got a rating system. If it's a good movie musical, it's hell of a musical. If it's a bad movie musical, it's hell as a musical. And if it's meh, it's a Purgatory Pizza Razzmatazz Factory. What do you give this?
I'm gonna give this a very light hell of a musical. Like,
wow.
I mean, I liked it ultimately. Like, it was perfectly entertaining and, perfectly fine. I don't think I like just thinking about it in the same terms of like this is a very old and like sort of revered movie musical. Like, as compared to Singin' in the Rain, the last one of those that we did. Like,
Yeah.
I loved Singin' in the Rain and was pleasantly surprised. And with this one, though, it was everything I expected to happen would happen. And it was just like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, this is weird.
This is fine. Everyone in town is stupid and they have primitive ideas, but okay.
I'm going to give this a high Purgatory Pizza Razzmatazz. I mean, if I had just watched the 1960s version, I'd be like,
Really?
this is a hell of a musical. But because I watched both of them, I'm just like, oh, I see all the flaws, and both versions point them out at the same time. Thanks a lot, Matthew Broderick.
Now I'm starting to rethink my rating.
No, you can get away with it because you only watched the 1960s version. I watched the horseshit 2003 Wonderful World of Disney Presents.
Right, but during our conversation, I still kept pointing out all like the weird sort of seams that like you wouldn't have noticed like back in the 60s.
This is true.
And I still gave it like a hell of a musical. Very curious.
Are you having a stroke?
That 2003 one must really be bad then.
It's so milquetoast. That's the problem. It's so boring. So, what are we doing next?
Next time on Hell is a Musical, we are watching Rock of Ages.
Yay. So, remember, do you have anything you want to promote before I go into our ending?
Nah, just go check out all the other podcasts on the Zero Science Network and our two respective podcasts. I've got Jukebox Zeros. Scott has Writer's Bagel Basket. Find them wherever.
So remember, if you are going to town to sell music and instruments, you are not a con man. You are a salesman.
Get a better con.
With Lilz and Scott.
Zero Science.